My name is Teresa Matson, and for my presentation on competitive rivalry and competitive dynamics, I chose to discuss the century-old rivalry between the Coca-Cola Company and PepsiCo. Even though both companies have performed admirably over the years, they have constantly been jockeying back and forth between first and second place position when it comes to their flagship product, soda. But before I get into their current battles, a little background on both companies. Coca-Cola first debuted back in 1886 at the Jacobs Pharmacy in Atlanta, the creation of a curious pharmacist named John Pemberton. After mixing his syrupy creation with club soda and providing samples to a few pharmacy shoppers, they unanimously agreed that the drink was a winner. Pemberton's bookkeeper pens the name Coca-Cola in the fancy script that is used to this day. Sadly, Pemberton died a short 2 years later and never reaped the rewards that would soon come. Asa Sandler procured the rights to the company for $2,300 a few years after Pemberton's death and began to build an empire as Coca-Cola Company's first president. Immediately, Coca-Cola began using celebrities to endorse their product, a marketing strategy that continues to this day. And by 1904, annual sales exceeded 1 million gallons of syrup per year. Coca-Cola's competition wasn't too far behind, though. Pepsi-Cola was invented by pharmacist Caleb Bradham in New Bern, North Carolina in 1898, and the race to be the top-selling cola in the country began. By 1910, PepsiCo boasted franchises in 24 states and sales of 100,000 gallons of syrup per year. But their growth is well behind that of Coca-Cola, and the original Pepsi-Cola Company goes into bankruptcy in 1923. After a few purchases and a few bankruptcies, Pepsi finally stabilizes and begins to give Coca-Cola a real run for their money. Both companies used a variety of sales tactics in order to gain more of the U.S. and world market share and to distinguish themselves as unique. Tactics including logo-laden paraphernalia like clocks and calendars, and the use of celebrity endorsers. During the 60s and 70s, Coca-Cola was expanding around the world, and a 1971 ad embodied their international presence with the song "I'd Like to Buy the World a Coke," being sung from an Italian hilltop by a group of young people. Pepsi came out swinging with the Pepsi Challenge in the mid-1970s, using celebrities like Michael Jackson and marketing their product as the soda for a new generation. They continue to fight with their more recent attacks on Coke's mascots, the polar bear and Santa. But despite their efforts, PepsiCo very rarely moved ahead of Coca-Cola in a market share. Today, PepsiCo and Coca-Cola Company look vastly different than they did 100 years ago, even 50 years ago. Over time, they have both created new flavors as well as diet versions, each company reacting to each other's actions. They both have acquired, merged, or partnered with small beverage companies, and for PepsiCo, even food companies. The biggest changes, though, have come in the last 10 years or so, as consumers have become more aware of their healthy, and more importantly, their unhealthy eating habits. Both businesses responded with the introduction of healthier drink options like Dasani and vitamin water for Coca-Cola, and Naked Juice and Aquafina for Pepsi. PepsiCo has also expanded into food, partnering or acquiring companies like Frito-Lay and Quaker. This move did not generate a reaction by Coca-Cola, though, and as they remain focused on beverages. With their new product lines, total sales for PepsiCo flew past Coca-Cola, and performance of PepsiCo stock has remained stronger than Coca-Cola since the early 2000s. However, sales of carbonated soft drinks in North America puts Coca-Cola as the clear winner, even though sales for both companies in this arena have declined steadily. Some think the war of sodas is over, that PepsiCo conceded to Coca-Cola as the winner in the soft drink arena, but PepsiCo hasn't given up on taking on Coca-Cola as a whole. PepsiCo's focus is on total company revenue and their plans to implement a new strategy for better for you products. Coca-Cola's plan for the future is simply be vigilant in promoting beverage sales in order to regain lost U.S. market share and continue to dominate the beverage industry as the soda war champion.